Brewers, what have the Yankees done of late? In their last 17 games since being swept by the Red Sox, they're 13-4. That's the best in the American League. They lead the American League East by a game and a half. They had trailed Boston by 2 games after being swept. The Red Sox record during this time 9-7, and they lost 5 of the last 6 games. The Yankees have also won the last 5 series and have the second best record in baseball. Hi, everybody. Michael Kay here along with John Flaherty. John, why are they playing so well? Because they have had injuries. What's the deal?
You know, I think the biggest difference, the personality of this ball club, when the injuries have hit, Jabba Chamberlain, Soriano, Derek Jeter goes down, they don't feel sorry for themselves. You still expect to go out there and win series, and that's what they have done. Offensively, Nick Swisher, Jorge Posada really picking up the pace and taking a lot of pressure off of that pitching staff.
I almost get the sense, John, that other teams aren't going to feel sorry for the Yankees because they have a $200 million payroll, so the bottom line is the Yankees can't feel sorry for themselves.
And it all starts up top. Joe Girardi setting the tone in that clubhouse. We've lost some key parts of this machine, but we're going to go out there and still find a way to grind out some wins.
Should be another good game here at Yankee Stadium when we get back. Lineups, first pitch, and baseball. All the stars are out tonight here in New York City, and you'll get a chance to watch it next, right here on Yes. Powered by 5 Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com. By Honda. See your Honda dealer and discover the great values now being offered. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. Really been a nice day here in New York City. More of the same expected this evening as A.J. Burnett digging a hole right by the rubber on the mound. He's about to take his warm-up tosses, so why don't we take a look at the Brewer lineup that he's going to face, and it's presented by Avis and read by me. Richie Weeks, the second baseman, will lead off, batting second and playing center field. Niger Morgan. Ryan Braun's in left field, he'll hit third. Cleaning up the first baseman, Prince Fielder. Corey Hart in right field will bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing Matt Gamble. Casey McGee at third base will hit seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Unieski Betancourt, and Jonathan Lucroy will catch, and he's going to bat ninth.
Well, that powerful lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers is going to face A.J. Burnett tonight. We'll take a look at his numbers on the season. 7-6 in ERA, just over 4, only 83 hits and 99 and 2/3 innings. So we'll take a look at our Jeep pitcher scouting report on A.J. And the difference between last year and this year is his last start. 6 1/3, 4 earned runs, but he walked 5 in that game. Really did not have fastball command and was able to keep the Yankees in it, although they lost that game. And pretty good interleague numbers, 17-11 with a 3.74. But the Brewers have done a nice job beating up A.J. in their career. An ERA of 6.39 in 5 starts.
Why don't we check out the Yankee defense behind him? And it's brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. It's pretty much the same lineup. Not pretty much. It is the same defensive scheme as last night. Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher, who had 2 assists last night. In the infield, it's Rodriguez, Nunez, Cano, and Teixeira, third to first. Russell Martin behind the plate. And Alan James Burnett is on the mound. Ricky Weeks digs in. The Brewers are 44-36. Yankees have the second best record in baseball at 46-31. Both teams in first place. Milwaukee in the National League Central and the Yankees in the American League East. Weeks digs in. He was 1 for 5 last night. AJ is ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is a strike, and we are underway.
Now the Brewers looking for a little better performance tonight than last night. Sloppy in the field, made some mistakes. Did have 11 hits, but only scored 2 runs.
Swing and a miss.
We talked about AJ in his last start. He took the loss in that game, 6 1/3, 5 walks. Really struggled with fastball command, and it kind of reminded me of last season when he really didn't have any clue where he's locating the fastball. But to his credit, was able to give the Yankees 6 1/3 and keep them in the ball game.
Dribbled slowly, but foul. Ricky Weeks can give you an early lead. 25 leadoff home runs, and amongst active players since 05, Soriano with 32, Jimmy Rollins 27, and Weeks is tied with Hanley Ramirez. Curtis Granderson one behind, but Curtis not leading off anymore. And the 0-2. 1-2 just underway here at the stadium. We're glad you could join us. Yankees have one more game tomorrow afternoon against Milwaukee, and then their shortest road trip of the year. They'll go across the RFK Bridge on Friday and meet the Mets at Citi Field. First of 3 there. The 1-2. 2-2.
Brewers come in with a very powerful lineup, 91 home runs, first in the league and the National League. The tough middle of the order with Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder, Ricky Weeks, 14 home runs.
2-2. Foul back. Had a lot of these types of at-bats last night. Let's check out the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 77 degrees, 49% humidity, wind 10 miles per hour, and partly cloudy is the forecast. We'll take it. Right back to Burnett. One away.
Because of that lack of fastball command in his last outing, we'll be paying attention to the fastball tonight. A pretty good pitch down and away. Nice job by AJ fielding his position, picking up the first out here in the first inning.
Here's Nigel Morgan. He kind of set the tone of the game last night when he misplayed a fly ball to center into a triple by Curtis Granderson. I was talking to the GM of Milwaukee today, Doug Melvin, and he said, we usually play a cleaner game than that. He said, if you looked up at the scoreboard, we didn't have any errors. He said, but we made so many mistakes that cost us the game. They did. Really was very sloppy.
Yeah, Morgan got tripped up in center field, got spun around and slipped on the outfield grass, and then we scored a triple and an RBI for Curtis Granderson last night. See Brett Gardner on the move, and it was a play Morgan obviously should make, and he loses his footing. And a gift in the first inning for the Yankees, and they took advantage from there.
Count 3-0 on Morgan.
It's just everything, Michael. There was a balk last night. A pitcher went to his mouth, and it was a ball. Ron Renicke's ball club, first in the Central, gave the Yankees a few gifts last night.
And that's a gift as they walk Morgan on 4 pitches. IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Here's Ryan Braun. He carries an 18-game hitting streak into this game. Runner goes, throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Morgan.
And stolen base number 5 for Morgan. Brewers more of a power hitting ball club than a stolen baseball club, but taking advantage of AJ, not really paying much attention, and a low throw from Russell Martin.
Looks like Morgan is hurt. Maybe a dislodged contact or some dirt in the eye.
Morgan stole 34 bases last year, so obviously a guy who knows how to steal some bags at the big league level.
Count 0-2.
Well, you mentioned that 18-game hitting streak. Michael, and Braun earned it last night. He was 0 for 3 going into his last at bat in the 8th inning and rifled a double to right center field to extend that hitting streak, batting .324 from an 18-game hitting streak.
Trying to get Morgan sleeping.
The Yankees paying attention to Morgan. Obviously, the stolen bases from last year, an impressive number, 34. Only 5 this year, but looks like the Brewers are going to try to be aggressive early in this game against AJ.
Count 1-2. It's such a cliche, but it's so true, and you see it played out every day. Speed slows a game down like you wouldn't believe.
Such a fine line, too, for a catcher, Russell Martin. You appreciate AJ paying attention to Morgan at second base. You have a very dangerous hitter up at the plate, Ryan Braun. High batting average, power, 16 home runs, and a great RBI guy, 59 coming into this at bat.
Sliced fair down the right field line. Kicks out to Swisher. And he's going to fire into second. Scoring is Morgan. They throw behind Braun. He's back. It's an RBI single for Braun. A 19-game hitting streak. And Milwaukee leads 1-0.
When you think of Ryan Braun, you think of the power numbers. And we'll take a look at the pitch by pitch, how A.J. Burnett tried to go after him. Good job getting ahead with a fastball. A curveball fouled off ahead 0-2. Misses with a curveball. And then a fastball away. Not a bad pitch. Just an excellent piece of hitting. Letting that ball travel deep in the zone and rifling it to right field. Reason why he's hitting over 300 now with 60 RBIs.
There's Prince Fielder. Leads the National League with 68 ribbies. He was 1 for 3 last night. Grounds out one foul. AJ struggles in the first inning. He brings with him a 5.06 first inning ERA this year. That was odd. AJ just decided to step off. Even Ryan Braun held his hands out and said, well, what was that?
You Wonder if there was a little miscommunication on the pitch selection with Russell Martin. Braun, a guy who can steal some bags, 18 on the year, has only been thrown out 4 times. So AJ has to pay attention.
Let's see if they turn 2. There's one. On to first. It's a double play. A 4-6-3 double play, and that will end the inning. But Milwaukee scores a run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. It's the Brewers 1 and the Yankees and home run hitting Mark Teixeira coming to bat. To try to make that up is presented by Bank of America. Leadoff hitter Brett Gardner. He'll play left, batting second and playing center. Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira's at first, he'll hit third. Cleaning up the third baseman, Alex Rodriguez, quietly an 8-game hitting streak. Robinson Cano at second will bat fifth. Batting sixth and playing right field, Nick Swisher. Jorge Posada will DH. He'll hit seventh. Hitting eighth and catching is Russell Martin. And the number 9 hitter and the shortstop is Eduardo Nunez.
Well, that lineup for the New York Yankees has faced Sean Markham before when he was a member of the Blue Jays, now with the Milwaukee Brewers. They can look at his numbers, 7-2, an impressive ERA under 3, only 75 hits and 94 2/3 innings. Take a look at our Jeep pitcher scanner report. He's battling a left hip flexor strain. He's only pitched 4 innings in his last 2 starts, and he will throw his changeup anytime in any count. You might want to stay away from Jorge Posada. Some pretty good power numbers, 4 home runs in 7 hits, a 389 batting average to go along with that power.
And Markham will deal to Gardner. Shows bunt, takes a pitch outside. Yankees have a visitor, and it's Jabba Chamberlain, who had Tommy John surgery on that right elbow. He's just hanging, had the stitches removed.
You have to be careful there, giving a little high 5 or low 5. I mean, this had Tommy John surgery.
That was an aggressive low 5. I was surprised.
Looks like some pretty good movement in their flexibility already. It's amazing with Tommy John surgery. They have you moving the elbow. And boy, I'd be a lot more careful. It's just me, Michael.
That's how you are. You handle everything in a different way than most. You don't just run around willy-nilly and do things. You think about it.
There's one thing I definitely don't do is willy-nilly.
Markham deals the 1-1. Potential drag bunt is popped up, and fielder's right there. 1 away. Let's take a look at the Milwaukee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Braun, Morgan, and Hart. Sounds like a law firm from left to right in the outfield. Infield, McGee, Betancourt, Weeks, and Fielder third to first. Lucroy behind the plate, and Markham on the mound. Here's Granderson. There's a strike. I was really blown away by Prince Fielder busting it down the line on this double play, John. I mean, this is a big man.
See, he puts it into another gear, hustling all the way, and I guess we shouldn't be impressed by that, Michael. I mean, it should happen all the time, obviously, but one's pretty good for a big man.
Well, those are the two things that made me even think about it. We shouldn't be impressed. It should be the norm, but unfortunately it's not. So we end up pointing out when people do what they should do. And then such a big guy like that, and he had some pretty good speed. Hustled it down to first base.
I'll tell you what, if I'm a catcher and he's coming around third moving like that, you would think twice about throwing that left leg in front of home plate.
And if you did, you wouldn't do it willy-nilly.
No, you would definitely not do it. Where'd you come up with that term?
You've never heard that term? Really?
Tough Irish Catholic household, willy-nilly? I don't think those words were ever uttered.
The 2-2. My household was pretty tough, and I heard willy-nilly. Granderson 3 hits in his last 11 at-bats. And he likes to hit against Markham.
Talking to Kevin Long, the hitting instructor, about Markham, give me a little game plan. He'll throw his changeup anytime, is what Kevin said. Really tries to get you to expand the strike zone off the plate with his slider, a little movement on the fastball. Kevin awfully proud of his lineup last night against Greinke, Michael. I mean, he was proud that they didn't expand the strike zone.
Just missed outside, so Granderson gets on.
And it was pitches just like that against Greinke that the Yankees did not offer at. Really made him work, and the same thing here early on with Markham. A curveball, tries to backdoor it. Off the plate, but not by much. A good take by Curtis Granderson.
Gary Cederstrom behind the plate, so Granderson a threat to run. Lucroy is a pretty good hitter behind the plate, but not a real accomplished catcher at this point.
Yeah, we saw some of his throws last night. He gets rid of it in pretty good shape, but not a great arm as far as arm strength.
Shift is on for Teixeira. 3 infielders on the right side. We showed Jabba coming back from Tommy John surgery. Sean Markham had Tommy John surgery as well in 2009. At the end of the season, Milwaukee acquired him from Toronto, end of last season, for second baseman Brett Lowry. And they felt that the addition of Markham and Greinke turned them into a contender. And you look at the standings, well, they're in top in the National League Central, so they're certainly contending. Here's Greinke, had a rough night last night. Now Teixeira carries 24 home runs into this at bat. That's the most he's ever hit, or the most he's ever hit before the All-Star break is 25, and that was back in 2005. So one away from that number. And he has 12 games to go before the All-Star game, if you include this one. And he likes Markham as well, 3 for 6.
Yeah, the Yankees have done a pretty good job against Markham in their career when he was with the Blue Jays, and not an overpowering guy. Really relies on some movement and a good changeup.
Last 8 starts against the Yankees, it hasn't been too good. 0-4, 6.62. That goes back to August of 2006. Overall, 9 starts, 2 relief appearances, 1-4, 6.55. 1-2. Now, when we opened the game, we told you about what the Yankees have done in the last 17 games. But if you go back to May 17th, the Yankees are 26-12, and that's the best record in the major leagues over that time. Swing and a miss off speed as Teixeira down on strikes.
This is a changeup we've been talking about, and it's a good one. Down and away after a couple of fastballs. Mark fooled by the speed out in front.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, 8-game hitting streak. He's 6 for his last 13 and 15 for his last 29. He has the average up to 304. Markham paying a lot of attention to Granderson. Now, in the 8-game hitting streak by Alex, multiple hits in 6 of those 8 games. Off speed, swung on and missed.
Yeah, unusual to see a swing like that from Alex. You mentioned the hitting streak. 8 games, respectable, but he's been locked in lately and really haven't seen a lot of off-balance swings from Alex. Trouble picking up the rotation out of Markham's hand.
Two.
When you watch Markham pitch, I mean, the ERA under 3 in the National League, which is impressive, and he's got an idea what he's doing. Alex looks terrible on a slow curveball, and then he throws a little quick pitch fastball inside and locks Alex up. Can't pull the trigger. Guy doesn't have great stuff, knows what he's doing.
Runner goes. Throw is dropped by Lucroy, so a stolen base for Granderson.
His 14th stolen base of the year, the 4th stolen base of the homestand. He picks a good pitch to run on. Looked like a changeup down. LaCroix can't come up with it. As a catcher, you just try to pick it and see if you can get off a good throw. Wasn't able to get a handle.
Two outside, 3-2. That one is looped into right center field. Hart is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. We've played 1 here at the stadium. Milwaukee 1 and New York nothing on yes. The first 18,000 guests 21 and older are going to receive a Yankees license plate frame courtesy of Avis. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Uptown girl here at Yankee Stadium, Christy Brinkley. She was in Chicago, not the city, the play on Broadway, and did a great job, and she's actually going to take that part to London. It's a pretty lady. 1-0, Milwaukee over the Yankees. Rumor going around that she had specifically said she wanted to meet John Flaherty today.
There's a rumor.
Yeah. I wasn't able to substantiate it, but I thought I'd just pass it.
Well, she looked like she was very comfortable down there enjoying the ball game.
The 1-0. Hot shot up the middle, a base hit for Corey Hart.
Corey Hart, all 6'6" of him. Michael had a chance to stand next to him in the dugout of the Brewers before the game. And as a big man, takes a fastball right back up the middle. It's good power the other way.
There's Matt Gamble. Brewers called him up specifically to be the DH. They did not have a player they felt would fit in at that role, which should provide some run scoring ability and the ability to drive in runs. He was having a great season at AAA, 321, 18 homers, and 58 ribbies. He was 2 for 4 yesterday.
And he had an impressive approach. I mean, real quiet at the plate. Doesn't look jumpy at all for a young kid.
That one is driven out to deep center field. Granderson back, still back, and he makes the play. Hart has to retreat. Let's see if they can get him. Here's the throw. They got him. It's a double play. Granderson to Cano to Teixeira for the 8-4-3 DP.
Curtis Granderson having a big year offensively, obviously with the power and all the runs scored, but he's getting the job done in center field. A great job on the run, right in front of the warning track, over the shoulder catch. And then makes a nice relay throw to Robinson Cano. He takes care of the rest to Mark Teixeira. A couple of hard hit balls here in the second inning against A.J. Burnett, but the defense for the Yankees picking him up. Covered a lot of ground to get to that fly ball. See, Hart has to go back around second, retouch second base. By the time he does that, it's going to be too late.
Casey McGee swings and misses. I guess it was a disadvantage for him to be 6'6" there. A little bit slower to get back.
It's probably a bad base running play too. I mean, you got to make sure that that ball is over the head of Curtis Granderson before you go to the other side of second base.
Yeah, even if you hover around second, John, the ball goes over his head, you're probably going to score.
Probably have a good chance.
The 0-2. 1-2.
We've seen some good outfield play lately from the New York Yankees, Michael. Nick Swisher, a couple of good plays last night. Curtis Granderson covering a lot of ground in center field. Nice swing in the bat, also getting the job done defensively.
The 1-2. You see Granderson plays a shallow center field, and he worked in spring training with Rob Thompson and Lee Mazzilli about how far to go back, how you can go back, and you have to come in as far as you can, feel comfortable going back. And The fact that he was so shallow is what made Hart think that it was going to fall in. But he retraced the steps and hauled it in beautifully.
Take another look. He gets a great jump. Obviously comfortable running back. Knew exactly where the track was. Hard around second. It'll be too late for him. Nice when a center fielder is running. Never breaks stride.
Strike 3 on McGee on a breaking ball, and that will do it. But the entire inning was set up by this catch, which started an 8-4-3 double play as we go to the bottom of the second. These current National League players will be the most coveted free agent after this season. And the choices are number 1, Prince Fielder, number 2, Albert Pujols, number 3, Jose Reyes. That's a great question. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. All right. John Flaherty has to change a career. He's a GM. He has some money to spend. All the positions you need filled. You need a first baseman and a shortstop. Who are you going for there?
Shortstop.
You are?
I am.
Really? What if the money's comparable? I mean, Reyes might get $150 for 7 years.
Well, what's he going to get?
But
Prince
he hits
Fielder.
home runs. I was talking to Dave Winfield the other day, and Winfield said, as great as Reyes is, he said, you got to spend that money for the sluggers that are going to drive and run.
I don't know. I'll tell you what, from a catching standpoint, the speed of Jose Reyes defensively, the range that he has, that's... Now, here's the old argument, and you talked about it a lot with Carl Crawford. You give a guy whose game is all about his legs that much money for that long of a period of time.
It's a tough call, because I don't think he's going to be the same player when his legs go. And that's a decision the Mets are going to have to make, too.
Well, would you want to be a GM making those decisions? That's a tough call with Reyes. Do you trade him at the deadline? Do you lock him up?
Cano grounds out to second. That's why the GMs make the big bucks.
It'd be tough to imagine Albert Pujols in a different uniform.
I have a feeling he's going to end up back there.
I do too.
But I don't agree with the people, John, that say, well, he got hurt and he ruined his value. Really? He broke his arm. You think that ruins his value?
Look at the back of the baseball card, how consistent it has been throughout his career.
I mean, if it was a serious knee injury or something like that, I can understand. But I don't think he hurt his value by breaking his arm. Here's Nick Swisher. There's a strike. Swisher has been red hot, 7 for his last 15. And look what he did so far in June, and look what he did the first 2 months plus of the season. He really was floundering, and you can see it in his eyes. And John always talks about this, and John could pick it up better than we can. But Just the way he was taking pitches those first, it seemed like he was jumpy up there.
Yeah, the thing that jumped out at me, that front hip was really leaving early. Now when you watch Nick take a pitch, it's under control. His head doesn't move a lot. Right there, that is just a quality take. And I talked to Kevin Long about it today, and he said, you know, Nick just wanted to control his mechanics before the pitch. And now every time it looks like he's tracking the ball. The results are there.
Just missed the count, 3-2. Trying to shake off the foul ball.
Seen early in this game, only in the second inning, that changeup from Markham, a pitch that he feels very comfortable going to. It'll be interesting to see how long he can go in this game. Impressive 1.74 road ERA. He's been battling a left hip flexor strain, has only gone 4 innings in his last 2 starts, so we'll pay attention. See if he can stay healthy through this one.
And Swisher works along. Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach there on the right. Ron Renicky, the first-year Milwaukee manager on the left. Ken Maka, the manager of the Brewers over the previous 2 seasons. And here is Jorge Posada. Jorge, 6 hits in his last 17 at-bats. A lot of slow stuff from Markham. He's not going to overpower you.
I mentioned in the Jeep pitcher scouting report, Jorge Posada, 4 home runs off of Markham in his career. 7 for 18, a .389 batting average. Jorge, a guy in the past who will go up to the plate and sit on one pitch, and when he gets it, he does not miss it. We'll see if he does that with Markham. Back-to-back curveballs to jump out ahead in the count 0-2. Jorge doesn't look too pleased. Borderline down right there. Home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom giving Markham the call.
Lofted into center field. Late jump from Morgan. Coming on, he makes the play. Kind of froze there off the bat, but made up the ground with his speed for the second out.
That was a kind of funny swing from Jorge. He kind of reaches out. It looked like it was off the end of the bat. I think that fooled Morgan a little bit. But he has enough speed, enough athletic ability to make it up, covering some ground in center field.
That's going to bring up Russell Martin. Martin, 2 hits in his last 12 at bats, hitting .229 overall, 9 homers and 31 ribbies. Strike.
A lot of work today with Kevin Long and Russell Martin trying to work to get together with the hips and the hands. See the batting average now under .230, and Kevin was saying when Russell was banged up a little bit, got into some bad habits, trying to get themselves back on track here. Really concentrated on using his legs during BP today.
Russell was hitting .328 on April 24th. Got out of the bat very fast. 189 since. Has not had an extra base hit in his last 67 at bats. Last one was May 24th, a home run. So that's the longest streak of his career. It shows you what a fragile mechanism a swing is. So his back bothered him a little bit, and that probably caused him to maybe swing differently to alleviate the pain, and then you're all out of whack.
Yep, mechanics go south, and then you got to regroup and try to get back after it. But a lot of talk today from Kevin Long about the lower half, using his legs to fire through the swing. I'll tell you what, the ball was jumping off his bat during BP. We'll see if it translates.
Early scores, Philadelphia leads Boston 1-0, top of the third. And Cincinnati beat Tampa Bay this afternoon 4-3. So the Reds take 2 out of 3, and that series almost swept if not for Longoria's walk-off home run in yesterday's game. Also, Boston had to make, I wouldn't say drastic, but certainly a different move today with their lineup. David Ortiz is a non-player in the National League with no DH, so they're putting him at first base. And arguably the AL MVP, Adrian Gonzalez, moves to right. He's playing the outfield for only the second time in his career to get Ortiz's bat in. Fouled off. The way the American League East looks right now, with the Rays loss, they lose a half game. So they're 3 back. Red Sox a game and a half back. Shows it's a tough division. The Orioles are just 6 games under 500, but they're 10.5 games out. So 3-2, 2 outs, and that's going to send Swisher at first. Strike 3. Martin down looking. Pitch on the inside part of the plate. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 2 here at the stadium. Milwaukee leads the Yankees 1-0 on Yes. Over the Yankees. Derek Jeter's rehab continues down in Tampa. The captain went through some of his paces today, did some throwing. You can see the calf heavily wrapped, but he took ground balls, ran the bases, and with each step, without a pain in that calf, Jeter gets closer and closer. Also took some swings, just like the one Betancourt just took to start up the top of the third. So let's go down to our very own Kim Jones, because we saw the video and now we ask Kim to interpret it.
Well, Well, Brian Cashman, Michael, called it another good day for Derek Jeter, and Cashman mapped out the plan. It is for Derek Jeter to have 2 more days like today. That means run full bases, take BP, do defensive drills on the next 2 days, which would be Thursday and Friday of this week. If all goes well, he could be ready for rehab games. Joe Girardi has said Jeter needs 2. Well, Cashman said there's a strong possibility he would have those this weekend for the Trenton Thunder, as the AA team is at home this weekend. Derek Jeter then with an eye on returning to the Yankees on July 4th in Cleveland. That, of course, is Monday, and of course, all of that is if all goes well.
You know what, Kim? I think you just with that sentence or that paragraph, advanced ticket sales in Trenton just went through the roof.
It's the place to be this weekend in some ways, Michael, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. If Derek's going to be there, that's an opportunity for those fans to see him in the flesh. Now let's talk about some pitching with the Yankees. And I also heard that Phil Hughes had a good day.
He did. He pitched for Trenton today, and Brian Cashman saying it was night and day from his previous rehab start, which, as we all know, was not one that was very encouraging. This one was. Brian Cashman talked about Hughes having command of all of his pitches and also explosive stuff. Now, what is next for Hughes? Cashman said they're still talking about that. There's a chance he'll be back for his next start. There is also a chance they will decide he needs one more rehab outing, and he would join a crowded rotation because Bartolo Colon, as you look at Hughes' numbers, Bartolo Colon is here. He's in New York. The plan, according to Cashman, is for him to start Saturday's game at Citi Field. But in the meantime, he will work out with the medical staff and undergo drills just to make sure his hamstring is okay. But if the medical staff gives clearance, it will be Colon starting against the Mets on Saturday.
Now, if Phil Hughes starts his next time out, Kim, I'm telling you, there's going to be fireworks on July 4th. Jeter's going to return and Hughes will be on the mound.
Well, that would be a big day, of course, but I found this interesting, Michael, because Cashman was asked, as the calendar soon turns to July, if he's looking to add any pieces, particularly with pitching. And Cashman's response was, I can't see myself trading for anything better than what's coming off the DL. He added, that doesn't mean I won't try, but if you think about it, within a week, the Yankees could get Colon and Hughes in addition to Jeter back, and they certainly hope next month, when eligible, Eric Chavez, and after the All-Star break, Rafael Soriano are ready to return as well.
Now, Kim, you could speak to this, and John, I'd like to ask you as well. I mean, Kim said that Brian said, well, this could be my acquisition. If somebody said to the Yankees, you can get a 25-year-old right-hander who was 18-8 last year, that'd be a great deal.
That'd be a great pickup. And, you know, the Yankees now have a problem. Who do you send out if you have 2 of these guys coming back healthy?
Let's give the hard question to Kim. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Kim, did they talk about that at all? Because if Colon and Hughes come back, that gives you 6 starters. Somebody's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, we don't have an indication on that yet. Listen, we're happy to get the news that we have so far on the Jeter timetable and Colon likely for Saturday. But, Michael, the one thing about Hughes that's so impressive, he touched 94 on the gun today. And, John, you can speak to this as well, but was it 93 even in the 6th inning? The Yankees say that's very good news, John Flaherty.
It is, and you know what? I know you talked to Reggie Jackson, and I had a word with him too, Kim, and he said he was very encouraged how the ball was coming out of his hand. Nice and easy and good life, so good news for Joe Girardi and his staff. All
right, Betancourt and Lucroy strike out before the end of the inning, Kim. I know yesterday it was very tough to extract anything out of Nick Swisher. He's so reticent to speak, so you went back to him today.
That's right. We scheduled Nick Swisher for our pregame. Just to note, Michael, as we're doing the postgame interview, we finished. I said, can you do pregame tomorrow? He goes, you want to do it now? I said, no, we'll do that one tomorrow. Well, Russell Martin decided to join. One thing Russell Martin said that was interesting, he believes Nick Swisher's defense has improved as his batting average has improved. In the month of June, Swisher hitting .325 with some really big hits for the Yankees. We've seen some nice throws from him. Swisher didn't argue the point, but he did say this, Michael. Back on May 25th, he was hitting .204. He says he never looked at the scoreboard. He says, I'm not a numbers guy. Don't give me stats. He said, all I know is I'm back to playing the game like I did when I was 10 years old. And it shows.
Now, I'm a big Nick fan. And I don't mean New York Knicks. I like them as well. John, I think he knew he hit .204.
I was finding that hard to believe.
Well, let's see if he can make this catch. He does. Kim, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so 1-2-3 inning for A.J. Burnett. I think Nick was fibbing. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Milwaukee leads the Yankees 1-0 right here on Yes. with Benefits, starring Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis, in theaters July 2011, not yet rated. By Grey Goose, the world's best tasting vodka, and by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. We go to the bottom of the third inning. It's 1-0 Milwaukee. Eduardo Nunez will lead off, and watching the proceedings, Mo Vaughn. Big hoop hearing. Got a good seat.
Ex-minor league teammate and big league teammate of myself. Came
Really?
through the minor leagues with Mo. Seton Hall University.
Good teammate?
Great teammate.
Lincoln scoreboard, 1-0 Milwaukee.
It's funny to think about him coming through the minor leagues as just a really good hitter, obviously with power, but once he got to Fenway, learned how to hit the ball the other way off of the Green Monster, it was all over.
And you know what was interesting, John? Once he signed as a free agent with the Angels, that left field wall wasn't as close. And then when he went to Shea, it certainly wasn't close. And his career really never recovered.
Well, he had that ankle injury too, right, in Anaheim? The dugout steps and never really tried to play through that. I'll tell you, he comes from a great family and a great guy. It's got to be bright down there. He's got the sunglasses on.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And Nunez down on strikes. Third strikeout for Markham. And that's going to bring up Brett Gardner. You know, just to amplify what we said about Nick and, you know, kind of joking around. At the old Yankee Stadium, your batting average was about 3 stories high in center field. Now, this scoreboard is phenomenal, but the scoreboard in center field does not have your average. You have to go over here, and it's really small. But even if you don't know that it's up on the board, you know what your average is. You know that it's not where you want it to be.
Every player out on that field right now, every offensive player knows, maybe not exactly where their batting average is, but you know if it's around 250, if it's around 220. They have a very good idea. I find it hard to believe Nick didn't know he was hitting 205. See,
now that looks decent size on that shot, but from far away, those are small numbers. In the past, though, this would be like this, 276. It would be that big. It's not like that anymore. It was hard to miss then. Slash the other way, a base hit. It's going to roll down the left field line. Braun cuts it off, but there's nothing he can do about stopping Gardner from getting a double.
Brett Gardner, who's been hot lately, has been doing a better job pulling the baseball here. He's a little late on a fastball and just keeps his hands inside and shoots it the other way. Early on during the season when Brett was struggling, it was like he was forcing the ball the other way. Now he's just letting it happen when it travels a little deeper. You get it to second base easily. Wow, that's a nice shot right there. Bat angle, hands inside, and just shoot it the other way. Great shot.
Here's Granderson. Double of the year for Brett Gardner. Now 2-0 on Granderson.
We'll see what Markham does right here. I mean, Curtis Granderson has had such a big year hitting in the 2-hole. A lot of protection behind him. We'll see if Markham comes right at him with a fastball. We've seen a lot of off-speed pitches early in this game. Curveball for a strike. It looked like it may be a little down and in. Talked about the last 2 starts. He's had some problems with a hip flexor.
Gary Cederstrom is in very good voice tonight. You can hear it all the way up here. That's a newfangled mask. I've not seen that one. Is that any real decipherable word there they're saying?
Hee-haw.
Hee-haw.
What's so new about this mask?
I don't know. I guess the texture of it doesn't seem like it's painted. There doesn't seem to be a high gloss to it. Also the openings near the hair. I think that's new. The shock absorbers there.
Well, you know what is new? I mean, we're starting to see a lot of the umpires wearing that hockey-style helmet, and the weight is maybe a little bit more towards the middle, back of your head. I mean, a lot of the umpires have some neck problems. Gary deciding to go with the hockey-style Wilson helmet.
(3-2). Granderson walks for the second time. 40th time of the year for him.
He's had 2 walks in this game, and both of the pitches that have been ball 4 have not missed by a lot. Curtis Granderson locked in with the strike zone.
How about our good buddy Mike Bonner? I know he's a huge fan of yours, John. He actually made the average bigger now so that people could see it. It's unbelievable. He actually made the average on the. We'll show you in a second. Here's Mark Teixeira. It seems like he just puffed up the 246 for Mark. It's not as minuscule as before. See, it's much bigger than the other numbers.
Well, I think Mark would want those 24 home runs pumped up a little bit. We'll see if Mike Bonner can take care of that.
I bet you he can.
62 RBIs, numbers to be proud of at this point.
Instead, he pumped up 246 even more. He's got to pump up to 24. Now 246 is almost unsightly. Count 1-1. Look, see, it grew right before our eyes. Oh, now 24 just got pumped up. Now we're talking.
There we go.
Count 1-2.
The changeup has given Mark Teixeira a little bit of trouble. He struck out on the changeup his first at bat. Swung at 2 this at bat that had been down out of the zone.
Now the RBIs are pumped up.
Now he's showing off. It's amazing the power you have here, Mike. You
but
ask
really,
for something, it gets done.
If you think about it, it's the power of Bonner. He could change the way people see the game here at the stadium. That's unbelievable. The 1-2. Grounded to first. Fielder will step on the bag. He'll get the second out. Runners move up. There's Bonner.
They're proud of their stuff there. Getting it done.
He's got a great crew there. He really does.
Lucroy out having a little conversation with Markham, and you have some things to talk about here. Alex Rodriguez been hot lately. Robinson Cano on deck has not. Got 2 outs, first base open. Really be careful with Alex Rodriguez if you choose to go that way.
That's why lineups are so interconnected. We always talk about it. How Alex is dealt with here is directly connected to the guy that's on deck. We had a lesser hitter You wouldn't give him anything to hit. Now, A-Rod has some history with Markham. He hit his milestone 600th home run off of Markham. Grounded foul.
You know, pitchers and catchers and pitching coaches, they talk before each start about how a lineup and how you're going to try to go through it. I'm sure part of the conversation, Alex Rodriguez has been swinging hot lately. Obviously, you think of Robinson Cano, a great hitter, but he's been scuffling a little bit lately. All things that you talk about before a game. When the situation comes up here in the third inning, you're prepared for it on what you want to do.
Alex did not love that call. Thought it was a bit off the plate. Was he right?
Tough pitch, a little slider. Looks like it's off the plate. That's how Markham makes a living. Tries to pitch off the corner, see if he can get an umpire to give him some strikes. Get some hitters to expand.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Swing and a miss. Markham gets tough and gets Teixeira to ground to first and Alex to strike out. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left in scoring position. We played 3 at the stadium. Milwaukee 1 and the Yankees nothing. Here it is. Who are the 4 players who win the MVP award at 2 different positions? I think I know at least 2. Oh, to clarify that, outfield is just outfield. So if you're win it once in center and then win it once in left, they don't consider it different. Here's Morgan. Shows bunt, takes a strike. I think 1 of the 4 is in Brewer history. Another one is in Yankee history.
He stumped him.
One of them playing in the game today.
Oh, I got it.
All right. The 1-1. 1-2.
AJ coming off a good third inning, couple of strikeouts. Seems like he's got that curveball figured out. Pretty good one right there to Morgan, down and in.
Morgan walked, stole a base, and then scored in the first inning. The only run on the board. The 1-2. Chop foul.
Michael, we got caught up talking to Kim Jones about Derek Jeter, but that video that we showed of him running down there in Tampa, it looked like he was running pretty good. A lot better than I expected. Now, obviously, going to play in a minor league game, you have getting out of the box. You're going to have to take care of that first step.
That's the scary thing, because when you talk to players that have rehab, there's nothing that really simulates the explosion of being in a game.
Let's see, I don't know, what would you call that? 70, 75%? Maybe not quite.
I'm pretty slow, so if that would be 100%.
Well, you've seen the guy run his whole career.
I would say that was 50%. 57%.
57%.
What would you say? 70?
I said 70. You shot me down.
I didn't shoot you down.
You did.
You played with the guy. You know better than I do.
I had other things to concern myself. You were up here watching him run.
Strike 3, Morgan down looking. 3 strikeouts in a row. No, 3 out of 4. 4 out of 5 for A.J. Burnett.
Yeah, the curveball has shown up, and we're going to take a look at our Home Depot hitter scouting report on Mr. Ryan Braun. Well, I had down 18 games coming in. It's now 19-game hitting streak, and this guy has power and speed, 16 home runs, 18 stolen bases. And he's not going anywhere. Going to be a Brewer for a long time, locked up to 2020 with an option for 2021. Sounds funny even to say that. A long time.
I talked to their GM, Doug Melvin, about it today. He had 5 years left on his contract before they signed him to the extension. And they just felt that the first contract that he was under was very team friendly. And they liked the fact that he never came and complained about it when he became a star. He said, I want to redo this. But when Troy Tulowitzki signed through 2020 with the Rockies, and then they kind of flirted with each other whether or not they'd be amenable, when the Brewers found out that Braun would be, they said, let's get this done. He's the sort of player that could be the face of the franchise, works hard, he's never going to take it for granted and coast because he has all those guaranteed years. And they felt that that was the way to go. And now he averages about $15 million a year.
Oh, turning himself into a complete player too with the stolen bases. But we talked a little bit about this last night, but you wonder what's going through Ryan Braun's mind. A guy like Prince Fielder going to be a free agent at the end of the year. I'm sure hoping that he'll come back to continue to give him some protection in the lineup. What did Doug Melvin say about Prince?
What was that, John?
What did Doug Melvin say about Prince? They want to bring him back, obviously.
He said, you know what, you hope that you could sign him. He said, we'd like to bring him back. He said, but Prince and the Brewers decided you just go out and have the best year you can have, and then we'll talk at the end of the year. And also, when you're represented by Scott Boras, when you get that close to free agency, Scott doesn't see the wisdom in signing. You know, you've gone that far, play it through and let 30 teams bid for you. Cecil Fielder, when he was here, actually said that he felt, you see Fielder's numbers, which are off the charts, he felt that Fielder really probably wants to stay in Milwaukee and loves it there. Does it look to you, John, like he has a very kind of short bat? It doesn't seem like it's like a very long bat at all.
Yeah, and it doesn't look obviously very heavy. I mean, he's a big man who might make it look small. But when I watch Prince hit, I mean, he has a reputation of being a slugger, and rightfully so, but he does everything well mechanically, gets ready to hit early.
Runner goes, throw to second. In there, stolen base for Braun.
Stolen base number 19. Pretty good throw from Russell Martin, and Braun came into this season saying he wanted to improve on this part of his game, and he has. Only been thrown out 4 times. A good throw by Russell Martin. He does everything that he can do to make it a close play.
'20th steal for Braun.
I thought he had 19.
Let's check to make sure. You're probably right. You were right. It's 19. And a walk to fielder.
Well, I love when I'm right and you're wrong.
It happens all the time.
It doesn't happen all the time. I got to enjoy it for a little bit.
Here's Corey Hart. Hart single in the second inning. There's a strike. .250 with runners in scoring position, but since May 23rd, .381. See if the Yankees can turn 2. There's 1. There's 2. Second time tonight, Burnett gets out of a little jam with a double play ground ball. No runs a hit, no errors. One man left on base. Corey Hart pounds this one sharply to Nunez, who fires nicely to Cano, back to Teixeira, end of the inning. The answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Who are the 4 players to win the MVP award at 2 different positions? I think Alex is one of them. Shortstop and third. Robin Yount's the other one I'm thinking of. Let's see if I have half of it. Yeah, Hank Greenberg. It's damn usual. First pitch to Cano is outside. 1-0 game, bottom of the 4th. The 1-0. There's a strike. Cano grounded out to second in the second. He's 2 for his last 17. And his average now on to 290, which seems odd for him. He's got one of the great swings in baseball, and you just expect him to be over 300. The numbers aren't terrible, but they're certainly not what they were last year, where he had an MVP caliber season.
I think we're seeing Robinson expand the strike zone a little bit more than he did last year. Maybe not being quite as patient. He's never going to be a patient hitter, always going to be aggressive.
That one's driven to center field deep. Morgan back, still back, still back, still back. It's over his head. He crashes into the wall. Caroms out into center field. Played out there by Braun. And Cano has himself a stand-up triple to open the fourth.
What a great bid by Morgan here. Robinson Cano crushes this ball to center field. And Morgan just runs right into the wall. No regard for his body right there. Aggressive play trying to make a highlight reel. Can't do it. Robinson Cano will cruise into third base, but it looks like Morgan's going to be all right.
You know, people see padding out there, John, and you could speak to this. There's padding on a concrete wall.
Yeah, there's not that much padding. I mean, that's got to hurt.
He seems like he is okay. And how about this in the bottom of the fourth inning? The Brewers are bringing the infield in. They're in at the corners and halfway at second and short for Nick Swisher. Cano's third triple of the year. Foul back. Nick walked in the second inning.
A lot of times we talk about situational hitting and just get a ball up and try to drive something to center field if you're Nick Swisher. And you know, Markham makes that a little bit tougher because of that good changeup that he'll throw down to get some ground balls, mixing in a lot of curve balls.
He's driven in this runner 16 of 18 times from third with less than 2 outs.
A lot of pitchers, if you're Nick Swisher, you'll go up there and say, okay, he's got a fastball or a slider, just look for something up. But Markham, changeup, cutter, curveball, sinker, four-seamer. You really got to be patient, disciplined, make sure you get a pitch you can elevate.
Now 3-1.
Jorge Posada on deck. I'd be surprised if Markham gives in right here. Probably throw him another changeup. Nick ahead in the count 3-1.
Line drive, a base hit, tie game. Swisher picks up an RBI single. His 43rd ribby of the year. It's 1-1.
That's just a nice at bat from Nick Swisher and a patient at bat. Making Markham throw a pitch up that he could do some damage with, and it was a changeup. It wasn't a terrible pitch, probably knee high. Just a nice piece of hitting and a patient at bat, waiting to get something to hit and make sure you don't miss it.
23 ribbies in June for Swisher. So he has 43. 20 of them have come in 1 month. Well, 23 of them have come in 1 month. Here's Posada, runner on first. And Swisher has driven in a run in 4 straight games.
play by LaCroix there, keeping that ball in front, keeping Nick Swisher at first base. Possibility of a double play with Jorge Posada up at the plate.
Just missed Posada on the way by, so the count 2-1.
You try to pick up some patterns if you're the New York Yankees with Markham there. A little cutter in off the plate to Jorge Posada. Anytime Markham has shown a pitch in, he's generally went away with the next one. We'll see what he does. Good changeup, his best pitch tonight.
Seven for 19 against Markham with 4 homers. John told you that in the scouting report. His scouting reports last 4 games have been very telling, right on the money. Count 3-2.
See, Markham wanted that pitch. He didn't get it from Gary Cedars from the home plate umpire. I think that Gary has been a pitcher's umpire tonight.
Bottom of the 4th inning, Yankees have just tied the game on Swisher's RBI single, which followed the triple to open up the inning by Cano. Milwaukee got its run in the top of the 1st, and Markham and Burnett have pitched well.
Markham, a guy who really doesn't challenge hitters, and that pitch count already up to 76 with nobody out here in the 4th inning.
Russell Martin on deck. Coming up, the 8th pitch of the at-bat. That one is drilled to right field. Hart back, still back. He's going to play it off the base of the wall. A long single for Posada as Swisher moves to 3rd.
Well, the hot hitting against Sean Markham for Jorge Posada continues, and he finally got a pitch he could do something with. A changeup up in the zone. The only question, would it be high enough for a home run? His 5th career off of Markham. It's not. It's going to be a long single. Nick Swisher cruising into 3rd base.
That's going to bring up Martin. Martin struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Now the Brewers, with runners on the corners, they'll play the infield back for the double play, so a ground ball, while it might mean 2, would give the Yankees the lead. Off speed. He's not challenging you. He a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
He'll throw a lot of soft stuff early in the count and then try to freeze you with the fastball, which he did to Russell Martin his first at bat. And this is one of those confidence at bats for Russell Martin right here. He's been scuffling a little bit lately. You got a freebie here, an RBI, if you can hit a sacrifice fly to the outfield, or if you mentioned might go a ground ball, might be a double play, but you pick up a run. Going through some tough times, you really try to build off some positive at bats, and a good opportunity here, although he's now behind in the count 0-2.
Ten out of 13 times this year, Martin has gotten the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. Swisher at third, Posadas at first. Nobody out. The 0-2. That one's drilled deep to left field. Going back is Braun. On the track at the wall. See ya! A 3-run home run for Russell Martin. And the Yankees take a 4-1 lead.
That'll help your confidence if you're Russell Martin. Been scuffling a little bit lately. Nice work with Kevin Long during batting practice, using your legs a little bit more, and he gets a changeup down and in. And that'll get the job done. A 3-run home run to left field. It's 10th home run of the year for Russell Martin.
After all the work, Kevin Long is pumped up. Martin's first home run since May 24th. And check this out, his first extra base hit in 68 at bats. So home run number 10 for Russell Martin, and a 4-1 Yankee lead. Breaking ball is high, 1-1 to Eduardo Nunez. Let's take a look at the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, John.
Well, we've seen this changeup from Markham to the right-handed batters down and in. This one up a little bit. Russell Martin takes advantage.
Popped up. Markham called off by fielder for the first out.
Martin seems like he's had those injury problems, putting them behind him. Now all of a sudden the swing's starting to look a little bit better. Double digits in home runs. Look forward to a healthy second half.
Gardner takes a strike. And another strike count on 2. Gardner doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Gardner down on strikes.
Well, this Friday, New York Knicks legend and Hall of Famer Patrick Ewing sits down for a new GMC Presents Center Stage with our own Michael Kay. The former #1 pick discusses his 18-year career in the NBA, including his epic playoff matchups with Michael Jordan, Reggie Miller, and Alonzo Mourning. It's an all-new Center Stage Friday at 11 o'clock, only on Yes.
Long drive off the bat of Granderson, but Hart makes the play on the run for the final out. But the Yankees get 4, and it started with a long drive off the bat of Robinson Cano. Morgan tried to make the catch but could not, and then Russell Martin with a 3-run home run, and the Yankees on the brink of breaking it open. post game with Jack and Kim on the Kia scoreboard. Yankees lead Milwaukee 4-1. Their 1-1 tie broken by a 3-run home run off the bat of Russell Martin. There's Matt Gamble as the Yankees have given A.J. Burnett some working room. Or maybe some breathing room to work with. Let's go with that.
Thinking back to AJ's last start, he walked 5 and really struggled with fastball command. In this ball game, he's walked 2. I think the location on the fastball has been a lot better. Curveball has been good tonight.
Grounded to first. Teixeira touches up, one away.
A little 2-0 changeup right there. That's an impressive call and a good pitch by AJ. Yankees went out and gave him 4 runs in that inning. He throws a 2-0 changeup to the young left-handed batter. Gets a nice ground ball. Really could be a valuable weapon if he continues to throw it.
There's Casey McGee, struck out in the second. Gamble now 0 for 2 after that ground ball. Popped up, right side. Cano out, Swisher in, 2 outs. Tomorrow's starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios. Get the ultimate in entertainment on the Ultimate Network. Fios, a network ahead. Randy Wolf having a solid season against C.C. Sabathia, 10-4, 3.25. Note the starting time. It's a matinee. Coverage begins at 12:30 right here on Yes. Game time right around 1:07.
Glad you told me that.
Imagine if you didn't show up on time. Came here for a night game. Hits the betting court.
I know you'd be able to handle it.
I'd miss you though. I would definitely really be hampered, I think, without you.
Now, what time would you actually call me or text me to say you were a little worried that I wasn't here?
If it was 11:30, I think I'd start to panic. I'd text you first.
Just throw it out there.
Yeah, then I would nervously call. And I'd say, don't hurry, I can do the first couple of innings alone. The 1-1. Grounded to third. Tough hop for A-Rod. Across the diamond, and that will do it. A 7-pitch, 1-2-3 inning for A.J. Burnett. Don't worry, everybody. John's going to be here tomorrow. Right now, we're halfway through. It's 4-1 Yanks. from Markham is a strike. Kia scoreboard has the Yankees up 4-1. High fly ball, center field. Morgan didn't see it, now picks it up. 1 out. Voting is now open for the 2011 All-Star Game in Phoenix. Help send your favorite New York Yankees to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Cast your ballot now for your 2011 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote today at Yankees.com. Here's Alex Rodriguez. He is 0 for 2. Flied out to right and struck out. Got a fastball by him, just 86 miles an hour. By the way, that All-Star voting I talked about, voting ends midnight tomorrow. Count 0-2.
You watch Markham, he's been throwing off-speed pitches all night. He challenges Alex back-to-back fastballs in the upper 80s. Beats him a little bit.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. A-Rod down on strikes. He's 0 for 3.
Well, you expect a lot of off-speed pitches. He throws 87 inside. It's enough to get by Alex Rodriguez when you've been slowed down your first 2 at-bats with change-ups, curveballs, sliders.
Here's Cano. He started the Yankees' 4-run rally in the 4th inning with a triple to center. And there's a strike. 96 pitches for Markham. Slice the other way. And out of play.
I know Markham's behind in this game, but you can see why his ERA is under 3 in the National League. He's got a good feel for his stuff and how he can get people out. You expect the off-speed pitch. He'll try to sneak a fastball by you and expect a fastball to throw a changeup.
The 0-2. 1-2. High fly ball left center. Morgan will put it away to end a 1-2-3 5th inning for Markham. We played 5 at the stadium. Yankees lead Milwaukee 4-1 on Yes. is presented by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. We move to the 6th inning here at the stadium. Yankees lead 4-1. A.J. Burnett gave up a run in the first inning and has pitched well since then. And he's going to face 9-1-2 in Milwaukee's order, starting with Jonathan Lucroy. And the pitch. There's a strike.
Going back through AJ's night, leading 4-1 now. In that first inning, got himself in a little bit of trouble. Was able to get a double play from Prince Fielder. Everything has fallen into place since then for AJ.
Nice pitch count, too. He's thrown just 68 pitches. Tim Dillard warming for the Milwaukee Brewers. Blooped into center field. Coming on as Granderson will play it on a hop. So a leadoff single by Lucroy. Yankees won last night 12-2. But it was a bit of an oddity. They won the game by 10 runs. But they were out-hit by Milwaukee. So it got the folks at Elias thinking. And it was only the second time in franchise history the Yankees won a game by a double-digit margin by being out-hit or while being out-hit by their opponent. The only other time that happened was an 11-1 win over the Tigers at the Stadium on May 24th of 1951. One and 0 to rookie Weeks. So very rare to be out hit and still win the game by 10 or more.
Talked about a lot of power on this club for the Brewers, but the Yankees so far, game and a half into this series, doing a good job keeping the big bats down or keeping them in the ballpark.
Count 1-1. We're in the 6th inning, which means that AJ has completed at least 5 innings in all of his starts this year. And that's significant because last year, which was such a bad year for AJ, he had 10 starts of fewer than 5 innings completed. See if they turn 2. Oh, nice play by Nunez. There's one. On to first, not in time. Hard hit ball, and Nunez came up with it to get the force at second.
It is a rocket hit by Ricky Weeks here, and a nice play by Nunez going to his right. It's a curveball, and it's a bullet. Off balance, makes a nice flip to Robinson Cano, but he's not going to have enough on it to get Ricky Weeks. It's a nice play to go to his right and pick it, get the force out at second.
Here's Morgan. Fouled away.
Michael, you mentioned those numbers with AJ, and I was interested to see tonight. I mean, he had such poor fastball command his last outing, and he has straightened that problem out tonight, and he's able to locate good curveball and some quality changeups. Even with the 5 walks his last outing, was still able to keep the Yankees in the ball game. Larry Rothschild has to be pleased with what he's seeing tonight.
keeping Weeks close. Line drive base hit up the middle. Stopping at second, Weeks. So Milwaukee with runners on first and second. And the big boppers coming out. Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. 3 fairly hard hit balls in this inning.
Russell Martin going to go out and have a talk with the hard hit balls this inning, but Ryan Braun also 2 for 2 and has hit 2 rockets the other way against AJ. Batting average now at .313 with 60 RBIs.
Went to the University of Miami. Actually, when he was recruited there, he got a chance to meet Alex Rodriguez. Alex never actually went to the University of Miami, but was about to attend class on the first day right before Seattle signed him to his contract. Boy, the history of Alex Rodriguez would have changed if he'd walked into that class. You can't sign that until a junior year, and you see the players that the Hurricanes have produced for baseball. And Alex Rodriguez actually paid for the stadium there, so he didn't get a chance to go to the University of Miami, but he's got the stadium named after him. Now Ryan Braun's mom, how odd is this? Ryan is from Mission Hills, California. His mom, Diane, is actually a brewer. She actually makes beer for Anheuser-Busch. My son's a brewer.
He's going to be a brewer for a long time.
So is she. The 1-2. Well, his mom's been involved. She's a marathoner, and she actually ran in the Miller Park sausage race, which is very popular in Milwaukee home games. And Ryan Braun was the perfect athlete at the University of Miami. Every coach wants this. He was a star athlete, and they didn't have to give him a scholarship, an athletic scholarship. They saved it for somebody else. He was so smart, he went to Miami on an academic scholarship. Is that how you got into George Washington?
No.
2-2. Oh, Alex takes it away. Long throw. Not in time. He took an extra base hit away, but not a base hit. And saved a run with that play. So Braun's 3 for 3, and the Yankees have a jam.
Great reaction going to his right, and he gets up to his feet quickly over the top, 4-seam rotation. Braun is called safe. We'll get another look. That is a bang play. Adrian Johnson, first base umpire, gives Ryan Braun the call.
Right there.
Good call.
Big spot in the game right here. Bases loaded for Prince Fielder. Fielder saved AJ by wrapping into a double play in the first. Can he do the same? Grounded to first. There's one. Back to first. No, they don't make the throw. Run scores, and now it's 4-2. Moving to third is Morgan. So Ricky Weeks scores. And an RBI for Fielder is 69th.
Obviously, you would love the double play, but I think A.J. Burnett and the Yankees will take this. A weak ground ball. Mark Teixeira takes the out at second. Nunez thinks about it. Actually came off the bag quickly there. A.J. covering. There will be no throw. I think that was the right play, Michael. I don't think they were going to have a play on Prince Fielder.
Here's Corey Hart.
Hart's dangerous, hit over 30 home runs last year. He has 8 coming into this series, and only 22 RBIs. He's hit 3 home runs in 1 game this season, so obviously, AJ, you have to pay attention. The Yankee bullpen getting loose. Boone Logan, Luis Ayala. Boy, Russell Martin's good at blocking the baseball behind the plate. I mean, he makes it look easy. We've seen AJ as a Yankee. This is not an easy pitch to block. Power curveball, and that is just textbook there.
Ground ball to Alex. He'll go the short way, and they get the force, and that will do it. So all things considered, they work out of trouble relatively unscathed. The Brewers do score 1, and they lead 2. It's 4-2 Yanks. Inning and a pitching change for the Milwaukee Brewers. Ryan Reineke makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And we'll get a look at Tim Dillard. Dillard got the final 3 outs of last night's game, and he comes on for Sean Markham, who won 5. Strikeout per inning for Dillard.
Saw him last night, a submarine-style pitcher from the right side. Good opportunity for Nick Swisher. Think the other way. Try to drive one right over the shortstop's head. Brewers shifting Nick to pull a little bit. Kind of surprised about that with this matchup with the submarine-style pitcher.
Swisher, an RBI single that tied the game at 1 his last time up. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. Average now at 252. There's a strike. Well, in Philadelphia, the Phillies in the bottom of the 7th inning have taken a 2-1 lead over Boston. We'll keep an eye on that one. Interleague play has not been overly kind to the Red Sox, especially in the National League, where their lineup is different without David Ortiz. Today, Ortiz is playing first, and Adrian Gonzalez is playing in right field.
Swisher has now gotten to that point of respectability, Michael. Batting average over 250 at 252. Take a look on Yesmo. Tim Dillard's motion looked like a changeup from the sidearm delivery.
Now, before Swisher yesterday, and you see how painful that looks. Before Swisher hit against Dillard last night, Kevin Long, the hitting coach, said just aim one over the shortstop's head. And Swisher did and ended up hitting a double. Tries it again. A deep fly ball to left center. And Braun is there for the first out. Well, it's time for another look at tonight's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question, which of these current National League players will be the most coveted free agent after this season? You've been texting us at 58772. Here's how you voted. 47% say Pujols, 40% Reyes, and just 13% Prince Fielder. John's pick was Reyes. Well, that'll bring up Posada. He singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. That one is driven deep to right field. Going back hard. It's off the top of the wall. Posada goes into a jog, and he's going to be tagged out. But we'll see. I'm sure this will start an argument. He thought it was out. From here, I thought it hit the top of the wall. We'll see what the replay says. As Girardi will talk things over with the umpires, I'm sure they'll meet.
Gary Cederstrom sending Joe Girardi over to Adrian Johnson, the first base umpire.
They're going to check the replay, I would think. I think it might have hit that guy's hands after hitting the top of the wall.
Jorge Posada circling the bases. Doesn't look like the umpires have signaled anything yet. It's got to be a home run.
If the guy touched it.
To top of the wall first and then his hands.
Well, they're going to check the replay. One umpire stays on the field and 3 will go into the room. Be just off the side, up that alleyway. There's a monitor there for the umpires to look at the replay.
Feeling Colbert talking to Joe Girardi about Jorge Posada, whichever way they make this call. He's already rounded the bases. He's probably going to have to go back out.
So the player's under review, and this is what they're looking at. The only question, did it hit that guy's hand? Because it hit the top of the wall first. And then another question, I guess, John, is that interference if the guy hits it?
Well, it hits the wall first.
Right.
So I think that's why it would be ruled a home run. Hits the wall first and then his hand.
Because they're saying if his hand wasn't there, it would have
continued.
In the
yeah, would have continued into the seats.
It looked like he might have stopped it from going into the seats. I don't think this is an easy review. It'll be interesting.
I disagree. I think that's pretty straightforward right there. It hits the top of the wall.
Well, he's rubbing his hand, which would lead you to believe that it hit his hand. Now there's padding there, and then there's a concrete wall behind it. So if it hits the padding and then the concrete wall, it would bound back onto the field. If it hit the top of the concrete wall and then the guy's hand, well, we wait for the umpires now to take a look. Now Ron Renicky is going to talk with Gilden Culbreth. Well, if it's a home run, it's 5-2 Yankees, and it is a home run. Gary Cederstrom says, and Posada's going to take another trip around the bases. So Posada's hot hitting continues. That's his 9th home run of the year.
Well, he has hit 2 rockets to right field tonight on the line. Nice job by the umpires reviewing this, making the right call. Smiles all the way around. We'll take a look at the swing again from Jorge Posada. Looked like a little slider middle of the plate, hoping for it to get up over the wall. He thinks that it did. Obviously a tough call for Adrian Johnson, the first base umpire.
No, it's hard to blame him because he can't get that close to the wall.
You give him credit. He made an effort to get out there. Just a tough call to make.
Now, before the play was reviewed, Laura Posada, Jorge's wife, said it was a home run. She said it on Twitter. So she made that call before time, and Jorge's mom is at the game today, so I'm sure she's happy to see that. As her son takes 2 trips around the bases. I hit the ball. It's a home run. Another guy who had a home run. Didn't have to be reviewed. A 3-run home run by Russell Martin. Broke a 1-1 tie. Made it 4-1 Yankees.
I'll tell you what, if you're a right-handed batter, Russell Martin, the 3-run home run tonight, feeling better about himself. If he can center a ball off of Tim Dillard throwing from this angle. Fakes a bunt. I mean, this is a tough matchup for a right-handed batter.
That's Posada's 3rd home run in his last 7 games. He had gone 40 games before that without a home run. I know you keep track of this stuff at home. That was the 8th home run review at the stadium, and that includes postseason. Off the glove of Dillard, he stays with it and rolls one to fielder for the 2nd out. This weekend, it's round 2 of the Subway Series on Yes. Game 1 coverage starts Friday at 6 with Audi batting practice today, and then the pregame. And Saturday, come back to Yes for postgame coverage with Yankees extra innings presented by Tri-State Ford. Then Sunday, we've got complete coverage of the series finale starting at noon right here on Yes.
Martin right back up the middle off the glove of Dillard, and then it's like a hot potato. He just wants to get rid of it. Low flip over to Prince Fielder, makes a play.
Now, a lot of people are against it, but just on that one Posada home run, you see the benefit of instant replay. If there was not instant replay, Posada's out. It's a huge argument, which probably takes longer than actually checking the replay. And he's got ice on his hand. Further proof that it did in fact hit him. But if you could use all the tools at your disposal to get a call right, why not? Soft ground ball to second. Weeks throws out Nunez, who is 0 for 3, and that'll do it. But the Yankees get a run off the bat of Jorge Posada. A low line drive. A fan misplayed it. The umpire misplayed it. They checked it out. They said home run. We say 5-2 Yankees. Capital Partner Play. Great partnerships are built on trust at GE Capital. We prove that every day.
Well, a lot of trust between A.J. Burnett and Russell Martin behind the plate, and we're going to get a look at some of the highlights for A.J.'s outing tonight. 4 strikeouts, a good fastball up in the zone. The curveball has been there all night. Good partnership, Russell Martin and A.J. Burnett.
Matt Gamble takes a pitch outside. 1-0. The Cadillac scoreboard has the Yankees up 5-2. Gamble is 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play and grounded to first. How much do the Yankees like interleague play? Well, since they began interleague play, the Yankees have the best winning percentage of all time. Coming into today, 153 and 106. Next up, the White Sox. Then the Angels. Then the Red Sox, and then the Twins. They won 11-7 in interleague play last year, and that was their 11th straight season of interleague play with a winning record. Gamble grounds one to first. Teixeira steps on the bag, 1 away. And so far this year, they have won each of their series 2-1. They beat the Mets 2-1. They beat the Rockies 2-1. The Reds 2-1, and the Cubs 2-1. So coming into tonight, they are 9-4 in interleague play. Now, interleague play began in 1997. So I have a trivia question for you, John. So they played 259 games. Tell me, how many hits have the Yankee pitchers picked up in 259 games?
Well, wait a second. Is that 259 all time or in the National League stage?
Obviously in the National League stage. In interleague play. So let's say about half of those.
That's a technicality I needed.
Okay. All right.
So half. 20.
There's a base hit down the right field line off the bat of McGee. Nick Swisher plays that corner very well and keeps McGee to a single. Well, you're closer than I would have been, John. I wouldn't even think it would have been that much. They have 30 hits and 299 at bats, a 100 batting average, 8 doubles, 11 ribbies. So runner on first base. 1 out, and that'll bring up Betancourt. Betancourt came over from Kansas City in the deal that got the Brewers Zach Greinke. High fly ball. Right center. Anderson makes the play. Like he lost it for a moment. And he and Swisher have a laugh.
Well, center fielder takes priority over all fly balls. You can see Nick Swisher getting out of the way, making sure that Curtis is going to make the play.
Bernie Williams, when he was here for Old Timers Day, told us a story that when he played center, O'Neill said, "You take everything that you could get to, and I'll cover near the line." Pitch outside to Jonathan Lucroy.
There's been some discussion that Lucroy maybe has a shot for an all-star appearance. Solid numbers, good first half. Dale Swaim, their hitting instructor, told me this kid will hit. Natural right-handed hitter.
Brian McCann actually leads in the voting. Atlanta Braves catcher. And Buster Posey, who's hurt. Voting ends midnight tomorrow.
You see that pitch count for AJ at 96. Now you start thinking about his night maybe being over. David Robertson getting loose, and it's been a solid game for AJ. He's had it all working, a good fastball, curveball, and some changeups.
Lucroy lines one to right. Nick Swisher is there, and that'll do it. The third time this month that AJ has completed 7 or more innings. Last June, he had an 11.35 ERA. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead Milwaukee 5-2, but we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now joining Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the lights from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
The game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 5-6-0 for the Yanks. Again, they're getting out hit, but they're not getting outscored. 2-7-0 for Milwaukee. Russell Martin, a big 3-run home run. Posada, a solo home run. And Ryan Braun, 3 for 3. An RBI single, now has a 19-game hitting streak. And that's how we played in 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. For Milwaukee, they will call on their lone left-hander, and that'll be Zach Braddock. And Zach pitched last night, and if anybody gets on base, the game will slow down to a veritable crawl. He takes a lot of time between pitches.
And a good arm, though. Good left-handed power arm. A little erratic to 7 walks and 13 in the third.
Sean Markram started. He had a 1-0 lead coming into the 4th inning. Then a triple of dead center by Cano. RBI single by Swisher tied it at 1. Posada singled to right, moving Swisher to third, and then Russell Martin hit a changeup into the seats and left for his 10th home run of the year. First extra base hit in 68 at bats, and that gave the Yankees a 4-1 lead. And then Posada's home run, a solo shot in the 6th, made it 5-2 as the Brewers scored 1 run in the 6th, and that's where we stand right now. A.J. Burnett has gone 7 for the Yankees. Last night, Braddock pitched 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. He threw 22 pitches, and he'll face Gardner, Granderson, and Teixeira. Cadillac scoreboard 5-2, Yankees lead. There's a strike. Yankees looking to go a season high 16 games over 500. Count 1-1. Foul back, count 1-2. I told you since May 17th, the Yankees have the best record in baseball at 26-12. They've been particularly hot over their last 17 games where they're 13-4. They average 6.18 runs per game. As a team, they hit .293. On base percentage of .379. But that only goes so far unless you pitch, and they've certainly pitched over that stretch. They pitched to a 3.21 ERA, and the opponents are hitting just .232 against them. And the 2-2. Count 3-2.
Well, Michael, you mentioned all those numbers. I think back to about a week ago when the Red Sox were just on a hot streak, and the Yankees just stayed right there with them, kept winning their games. And the Red Sox couldn't stretch out their lead. Then they hit the skids a little bit, and the Yankees taking advantage. First place in the East.
Hot shot. Almost ate up Weeks. I think he caught it on the heel of his glove for the first out.
Brett Gardner is tough to pitch to right now. We saw earlier in this ball game a double that he hit the other way. Now he gets a fastball in from a left-hander and is able to hit a rocket to right field, or actually to second base. So Weeks makes the play. Covering a lot of zones right now, Brett Gardner.
Hit close to the middle of the glove and then slid up to the pocket, but he held on to it. Here's Curtis Granderson, who has walked twice and then flied out to center. At the bottom of the 7th, the Yankees up 5-2.
Braddock not afraid to throw that fastball inside to Brett Gardner. There, the first pitch to Curtis Granderson. Gives you a little bit more to think about if you're a left-handed hitter.
Granderson leads the American League with 7 triples. First Yankee to have 7 or more triples before the All-Star break since Derek Jeter had 8 during the first half of the 1999 season. Turned him loose on 3-0. And he pops it up. Betancourt. 2 away. There's Mark Teixeira. Now Mark Teixeira and Jose Bautista both homered yesterday. They both have 24 homers, and that's the most in the major leagues. Check this out. In professional baseball history, only 2 switch hitters have finished a season with the most homers in the majors. One of them was Walt Wilmot of Chicago in 1890. He had 14 home runs. And the other one was Mickey Mantle in 1956. That's when he had 52 home runs in his Triple Crown season. So in the long history of professional baseball, just 2 switch hitters have had the most home runs in baseball. Not the league, in baseball. And Teixeira swings and misses, and he is 0 for 4 tonight. We played 7 full at the stadium. Is it time for David Robertson? Yankees lead 5-2. The official hybrid of the New York Yankees. So they let A.J. Burnett come out and start the 8th inning. Now, David Robertson's ready. So Joe Girardi's just going to go at bat to at bat. Burnett's looked very, very good.
I'm impressed right here. I mean, you would think that you see on the Hyundai scoreboard 5-2 Yankees lead. I would have assumed David Robertson would be in this game. Joe Girardi liking what he is seeing from A.J. Going to let him continue. 97 pitches. He has thrown 115 in a game this year, so he has plenty to go. 105 his last time out. Plenty of life on the fastball, but more importantly, that good carry through the outside corner. We have not seen any fastballs run back to the middle like we did A.J.'s last outing. Even more impressive here in the 8th inning when fatigue is a factor, able to keep that fastball true.
Fouled away. That's the breakdown. Nice, easy 5th inning. Just 7 pitches. 13 pitches in the 7th. And that's why he's out there right now. The 1-2. Rounded to short. Nunez. And he throws that one past Teixeira. And we'll see if they score it. Well, as they decide what to score that, let's go to Bob Lorenz. He has a final. So Philadelphia playing very well despite a lot of injuries in the bullpen as well. Thanks to the 10th error of the year and his 9th at shortstop by Nunez. That'll do it for Burnett, and he gets a nice ovation from the crowd here at the stadium. David Robertson comes on. You stay right here. Hits for Ryan Braun, including an RBI. The other run driven in by Prince Fielder. And A.J. Burnett was really strong. Didn't give up too much. And when he did give up any hits, he certainly got out of a jam. Key double plays, key outs. And he leaves with a 5-2 lead. Runner at first base obviously is his responsibility, and he will turn it over to David Robertson. Nice performance by Burnett. And now he needs the bullpen to get 6 outs to nail down the win.
David Robertson and his numbers, I mean, very impressive. 1.15, 15 holds, only 22 hits. Just disappointing that he's in this game right now. The error by Nunez, pretty much a routine ground ball. A.J. Burnett got a great hand from the crowd here at Yankee Stadium, and rightfully so. Very solid ball game.
Here's Nyjer Morgan, and he shows bunt, takes a pitch outside. We mentioned going to break. The 10th error of the year for Nunez, his 9th at short. He has 9 errors in 26 games at shortstop. And he's going to make the really dramatic ooh and ah play. But as he gets older and more experienced, he's going to have to make the play that's hit right at him like that ball. And the unerring, no pun intended, confidence of Derek Jeter. The ball's going to be hitting Jeter, and he's going to make the out. And that's why he wins Gold Gloves. And, John, you can't just discount that. That's important on a team that's expecting to win.
Now, it's deflating, you know, when a pitcher or even a whole ball club, you make a pitch, it's a routine play, and the next thing you know, you have a runner at first base. Things happen awfully quick at the major league level. And if you start thinking of this inning, you have the middle of the order coming up for the Milwaukee Brewers, and instead of 1 out, nobody on, you have a good base runner, and A.J. talking to Ivan Nova. 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, in control the whole night. Take a look at the play. Nunez comes up with it, and he's had some throwing problems all year. Mark Teixeira, nobody better at picking. Looks like that ball stayed down off the lip.
Snap throw to first. Diving back is Weeks. There's a strike. Robertson's 1.15 ERA is the second best in the majors for all pitchers with at least 30 or more innings. Rafael Perez has a 1.13 ERA. Ryan Braun's on deck. Do they send Weeks 3-2 to Morgan? They do not. And that one is skied to center field. Granderson for the first out.
Nice shot by David Robertson there behind in the count, 3-1, and throwing 2 fastballs for a strike and forcing Morgan to swing the bat. You're playing to the scoreboard now. If you're David Robertson, you'd love for Ryan Braun or Prince Fielder to come up there without the opportunity to tie the game with one swing of the bat.
And a strike. Swing and a miss. Good pitch.
Started him off with a good fastball inside, follows it up with that good curveball down and away. Tough combination. You have a lot of weapons now if you're David Robertson and Russell Martin. High fastball, bounce a curveball.
And he strikes out Braun with a high fastball, 95 miles an hour.
Ryan Braun has been swinging the bat well tonight. He had no chance against David Robertson. Perfect pitch for strike 1, curveball down and away, and then a high fastball for strike 3. Made a really, really good hitter look bad.
Pitch is low. Count 2-0. Fielder with an RBI. He's 0 for 2. Drove in the run on a ground ball. Also walked. The 2-0. And a strike, 2-1.
Love that right there. 2-0 fastball. Here's my best fastball. Fielder could not pull the trigger. If you're David Robertson, you can go right at Fielder in this at bat. 3-run lead.
He is throwing gas right now.
That's just power against power, and throws it right by Fielder. And you can see he looks up at the miles per hour on the scoreboard. It's 95, but it's playing a little bit harder. Good life through the zone. Throw another one.
The 2-2. That one is hammered to right field. It is a base hit. Fair ball played out there by Swisher. Gets the ball in quickly, holding Fielder to a single as Weeks advances to third.
Well, he got a curveball. Fielder didn't. He took advantage of it. We'll look at our pitch by pitch. Change up, interesting pitch. Ball 1, curveball, ball 2. Fastball strike, fastball strike 2, and he decided to go with another curveball, and it just kind of spun in the middle of the plate. David Robertson probably lucky that he didn't hit a 2-run home run on that pitch.
John, talk to me about that thinking. I mean, he just really blew 2 fastballs right by him, and he also embarrassed Braun with a fastball. What would the thinking be? Okay, let's go to the car. Are they out thinking themselves?
Well, I mean, you know, you can't question Russell Martin and David Robertson. They've been so good this year, but he probably wanted to bounce the breaking ball instead of going 3 fastballs in a row to Fielder. And you know what? He left one up and he paid the price. But you know, you can't really question him because the curveball's been so good.
But I'm wondering, do they think, well, Fielder's going to be ready for the fastball now? Is that their thought process?
Yeah, you could think that. You know, a lot of times Foul ball off of Russell Martin. A lot of times you'll go through meetings and say you can't throw the same pitch 3 times in a row to a good hitter because he'll make the adjustment. David Robertson decided to go with a curveball and it didn't work.
Do you buy that? The 3 in a row?
It all depends. And when you have a guy like David Robertson throwing the way he has, and you see the fastball gets a good piece of Russell Martin, and then it's a camera guy. They get 2 for 1 there. You mentioned that David Robertson really throwing hard, and throwing it right by fielder. Probably if he elevated it, would have had strike 3.
Now on the flip side, nice block by Martin. That's a pretty impressive adjustment by fielder, who's probably thinking they're going to blow a fastball by me, and all of a sudden he just jumps on the breaking ball.
Like I said, probably lucky it stayed in the ballpark.
Throwing hard tonight, consistently 95.
This looks like it has a little cut action. Just takes it off the play. Russell Martin tries to bring it back, does not get the call.
Two, 1. 2-2. Okay, now he's seen 2 fastballs. What does he go with here?
Yeah, you were probably saying that was a pretty good swing right there from Hart. So you're probably thinking I probably should go with a curveball, make sure it's down. But also, Hart is a guy who likes the ball out over the plate and has good power to right field. And Russell Martin probably thinking maybe fastball in or bounce a curveball. Looks like it's going to be a fastball away.
Fastball, strike 3. Hart down looking. Maybe he was thinking breaking ball after watching what happened with Prince Fielder. No runs a hit, 1 error, and 2 men left. That's why this game's so fascinating. The thought process, all the things going on when nothing's going on. 2 more strikeouts for Robertson. In-game box score. Well, we highlight Posada and Martin because those were 2 big blows in the game. Posada 2 for 3, a home run, 2 runs scored. Russell Martin hit a 3-run home run, which broke a personal streak of 68 at-bats without an extra base hit. RBI for Swisher continues his hot hitting. Robinson Cano's triple in the 4th inning, which started the inning, started that 4-run rally, and that's where we stand right now as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Alex Rodriguez is going to lead off against the new pitcher, Cameron Lowe. Swing and a miss. Alex has a 8-game hitting streak on the line. The Hyundai scoreboard. Yankees lead 5-2. Count 1-2. The 1-2. The 2-2. And Alex swings and misses. And he has struck out 3 times tonight. 0 for 4. Well, you can vote along with us for tonight's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772, or you can vote online at yesnetwork.com. Tonight's candidates are number 1, A.J. Burnett, number 2, Russell Martin, number 3, Jorge Posada, and number 4, Nick Swisher. You can vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Cano grounds it foul.
You see Cameron Lowe and a lot of movement on that fastball away from Robinson Cano. In on Alex Rodriguez and got him with the strikeout.
Count 0-2. Well, what Robertson did in the 8th inning was get past the dangerous part of the lineup. That's why sometimes your 8th inning is more difficult than your 9th, because you've already navigated Braun, Fielder, and Hart. Now, if Mariano comes in the 9th, not that it would be easy, but he'll face Gamble, McGee, and Betancourt. Brian Gordon, who was supposed to start tonight, but because of the off day Monday, they skipped over his turn, kept everybody else in rotation. That's why AJ started tonight. And CeCe will start tomorrow afternoon. Remember, you can join us at 12:30 for the pregame. It's a matinee time of 1:07 for the first pitch. Yankees against Milwaukee, final game of the 3-game set. Ground ball to second. Weeks. 2 outs. Well, earlier today, Ford gave away that car. Yankee Pinstripe Edition Ford Explorer. Al Balantise got it. And here to congratulate Al, of course, was Nick Swisher. Looks like he wants to steal the car. Sweet looking ride that Ford gave away. That's a great promotion and a happy fan. Swisher, one more hit today, another RBI. He's averaging .251. Over his last 29 games, an on-base percentage of .444. Count 2-1. Along with John Flaherty and Kimberly Jones, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball here on this Wednesday evening. We thank you for joining us. Yankees trailed 1-0, came back, took a 4-1 lead, then it was 4-2, now it's 5-2, bottom of the 8th. There's a strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just missed in the count. 3-2.
Cameron Lowe thought he had strike 3. Mentioned earlier, Gary Cederstrom has been a pitcher's umpire tonight. Looked like that was a little bit down. Borderline. Nick Swisher got away with it.
Ground ball to third. McGee across the diamond, and that will do it. So 1-2-3 inning as the Yankees go down in order. We go to the 9th. And the Brewers will try to do it against Mo. Mo Vaughn stayed for the 9th inning and just sent some love up to our very own John Flaherty. We want to remind you to stick around just like Mo after the last out for the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry are back in the studio to break down the game and get the latest highlights from around baseball. Plus Kimberly Jones with the clubhouse reaction, all coming up on the postgame right here on Yes. So Mariano, who with this appearance now stands alone in 12th place, all-time appearance list for pitchers. Under 2 ERA, looking for a 16th save. The numbers are as good as they always have been.
Yeah, and the last time we saw him, Old Timers Day, struck out the side to pick up a save in that game, 15th of the year.
Five-2 Yankees lead. Chris Dickerson takes over for Swisher and Wright. And there's Chris. And Matt Gamble will lead off. A.J. Burnett went 7 plus 1 batter. Robertson a scoreless 8th. And now Mo. 8 of Mo's 9 appearances in June have been scoreless. Shattered bat and loop foul. Gamble will have to get another bat.
Thinking back to Sunday when Mariano came in and struck out the side against the Colorado Rockies, had a real good fastball velocity-wise that afternoon.
Loop to short. Nunez will put it away for the first out. Tomorrow afternoon, the Yankees and the Brewers wrap up the series with a midweek matinee right here on the Bronx. Coverage starts at 12:30 with the Tri-State 4 pregame. Then John Flaherty and I are back at the stadium for all of the action. Brewers, Yankees tomorrow at 12:30 only on Yes. Here's Casey McGee. And there's a strike.
You always smile, Michael, when young kids come up there against Mariano. A kid like Gammel's probably watched him on highlights. And you know what he's going to throw, that cutter in on your hands. You're waiting for it. You still can't do anything with it.
The thing they say, John, is that it moves so much. I mean, you think it, you know it moves watching it on TV, but when you get up there, it just explodes on you.
Yeah, and it moves late, too. I mean, you really don't see any spin. But, you know, with Mariano, through all the years, whether he's throwing a little bit harder in the past than he is now, he locates right on the corner or just off.
Moving out to right field, Dickerson into the corner. It's a foul ball. The 0-2. Just missed.
Tried that front door cutter. He was getting some fastballs out over the plate. Mariano decided to come inside just off the plate.
Count 2-2 on McGee. Betancourt is on deck. Yankees lead 5-2. The pitch. Strike three. McGee down looking.
Well, he went inside and then finally finished them away. Down and away right on the corner. Perfect pitch. Tough to do anything with that. And you can see he was cheating for that ball inside, leaking, opened up his front hip. Mariano as good as any pitcher recognizing what a hitter is trying to do against him.
Betancourt takes a strike. Betancourt 0 for 3. Strikeout, ground ball to third, and a fly ball to center. Brewers down to their final out, the 0-1. Now down to their final strike.
This would be a real nice win for the Yankees, just how Joe Girardi draws it up. A.J. solid for 7. David Robertson does his thing. Mariano and a few home runs mixed in there. Russell Martin, Jorge Posada.
The 0-2. Grounded to third. This should do it. Gobbled up by A-Rod. The throw pulls Teixeira off. He tags Betancourt. Yankees win, and you could put this one on the left side. So Mariano works a 1-2-3 ninth inning, and he picks up another save, his 21st save. He did not pick up his 21st last year until July 26th. So he is ahead of his pace. Home run of the game by Russell Martin. That was the big one, a 3-run shot. Turned a 1-1 game into a 4-1 game, and Jorge Posada hit a home run that had to go under review before they gave it to him. A solo shot made the game 5-2. You got to stick around for the postgame show. to find out who tonight's Chevy Player of the Game happens to be. He just continues to do it. Mariano Rivera mows him down. And that's about as automatic as anything that you get in sports. And the Yankees now a season high 16 games over 500, and they're 2.5 games over the Red Sox. Red Sox lost to the Phillies, and they're also 3.5 over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay lost to the Cincinnati Reds. The big blow was struck by Russell Martin, and he's downstairs talking with Kimberly Jones. Kim?
That's right, Michael, and it went by formula. Russell, AJ gets the ball to Robertson and Mariano, and you guys have already won another series. What do you think of the performance tonight from the pitchers?
I thought it was great, and it started with AJ, just setting us on the right tone. He gave up a run early, but he settled down, and he just made great pitches all night. So you got to give up to him. And then the Penn's been doing their thing out there. Robertson, another great performance, and Mariano the same.
What's the key in the 6th inning there? The Brewers bases loaded with 1 out. He gets 2 harmless ground balls to get out of the inning.
Well, that's just him making pitches, mixing his curveball really well, and keeping his fastball in areas either down or up and out of the middle of the plate, and that's really the key for him. Let's
talk about you. You said before the game you had to get it going offensively. Was that home run what you had in mind, a 3-run jack?
I felt good. I wasn't sure off the bat. I knew we were going to get one with the sac fly, but it went over the fence. It felt great. It'd been a while. I don't know how many at-bats it had been since I hit an extra base hit, but it definitely felt good.
Do you want me to tell you?
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Did it seem like a long time? It had been 69 at-bats. Did it seem like at least that?
It felt like it was a long time. It felt like forever. But, I got a good pitch to hit. I was down. I was down in the count 0-2. So right there, I'm just fighting for my life. And he made a pitch in an area that I could make contact, and I took care of it.
And your pitcher loves when you do that, don't you? They love when the catcher provides the winning run.
Loves it. I love it, too.
Russell, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Michael.
Thank you, Russell, and thank you to Kim. So the Yankees beat the Brewers by a 5-2 score. They've won another series. They'll go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon, but don't think about that yet. We've got a lot more to come right here on Yes.